Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in. I'm sure you guys are very excited and want to get the show started. But before that, I got to do the basic stuff first. I got to introduce who our speaker is for today. Do we need to do an introduction for him? Well, basically, it's going to be Johan. He is our immediate past president for MAPS, and he's also now currently serving as a board representative for the Global Speakers Federation. And that's really cool. Not many people have the opportunity from Malaysia to do that. And he's been giving us a lot of information about that. And if you don't know him, he's the founder of Leap Leadership Academy, and he's been around in this business for such a long time. So I'm going to go and do a bit of a twist for this introduction. I'm going to share something that is relevant to me. So remember this word, guys. It's, hang on a second, let me just do that. So ayam kampung, nasi ayam kampung. So I'm going to bring that up. That was the first time that I met Johan. I was a new speaker, a new trainer, I would say 1 month in. And I needed to find out people who I should speak to and learn about this business. How do I make money? How can I grow my business in training and speaking? And Johan was already at the top of his game. I was no one. And he said, come over to my place. And after that, we're going to have nasi ayam kampung somewhere close by to where his office was. And that conversation, it went on for about an hour plus or so, or 2 hours. And within that 2 hours, it changed my life. It gave me a different perspective. And I just went hard on after that, go on real, just based on whatever that he's told me, and then participated and joined MAPS, and my life was changed. And I'm now, very busy, constantly speaking, constantly doing training and so on. So that is what Johan is to me. And I think this topic here is very powerful today. So you want to give your absolute focus, you want to ask questions, you want to be engaged, go ahead and do that, because I'm sure that Johan's going to be sharing a lot of useful tips and things that you need to know to be able to boost your speaking and training business. All right. So without further ado, let's everybody welcome in our rock star for the day. It's the one and only, none other than Mr. Johan Irwan Kamaruzzaman, everyone. Yay!
Wow, thank you, Rizal. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the warm introduction by Rizal. And yeah, I still remember in this venue, in my office, Rizal came and then asked me some questions. And me being me, I just shared whatever I think relevant for Rizal at the time. And I think I told the hard truth about the industry, and that what makes Rizal, I think, make certain kind of decision that to me very quite shocking to me, because of he quit his job and then being in the industry for full time, and within I think less than 1 year he achieved a lot that I took about 5-8 years to achieve. He achieved it in 1 year. So that's, I think, the power of actually sharing, because I think where I am today, I gain from a lot of other speakers. I learned a lot from actually mentors and members of MAPS, people like Jega, people like Raymond, people like Jonathan. These are the 3 people that really shaped my speaking business to become who I am today. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a topic that I have never shared before. So this is brand new, this is fresh, this my journey after 10 years being in the speaking industry. So I'm going to just share without any structure like keynote, you have to have 3 points. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to share 10 stories, because I remember MAPS at Work 2014, Dr. Dilip Abhiyasekara says that a job of a professional speaker is to tell a story and to make a point, and to tell another story and to make another point. So it's been 10 years. I quit my job in 2013. So that's why I think that this year is actually my 10th year of my professional speaking. 10th year means that professionally, I did nothing else except from speaking and authoring. So it means I earn only from speaking and authoring. That's it. I think it's quite cool to just sit back and reflect what are some of the lessons that I've learned throughout the journey, and what are the certain things that I can share with the rest with certain kind of principles. So that's my goal for today, 10 stories. That's it. If you can look at my slide, there's the rockstar speaker. So that is my next venture that I wanted to venture on. It started off with MAPS, where I shared my rockstar presentation during MAPS at Work a year ago, and also in MAPS convention. So today I'm not going to repeat the same thing. So if you missed MAPS convention last year, go and go open your YouTube, type Johan Irwan, rockstar speaker. You're going to listen the whole presentation for last year. Okay, so today what I intend to do is to reflect 10 stories and also to answer these 10 questions. So I heard someone just now, Kajan, if I'm not mistaken, just graduated, wanting to start a career and not sure yet. So how many of you here are not yet a professional speaker? Please raise your hand. Not yet a professional speaker, not yet earning money from speaking. Okay, thank you very much. How many of you already did some professional speaking and you are doing something else as well? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. How many of you who are like me just speak? Speaking means that speaking, training, or coaching, or anything related to that only. Then you don't do anything else other than your part-time job lah. Anybody that do it full-time speaking, consulting, speaking, consulting, and all. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the first part of it is actually the first 3-4 questions is actually for those of you who raise your hand the first time. You are not sure whether this business is for you, or what topic do I should speak on. So that is for you. And for the rest of you, the question number 5, 6, 7, and 8 and 9 would be much more relevant, but I think most of you can relate to my story, because I'm just going to go through a timeline since I started, and I'm going to answer all these 10 questions. So first of all, how do I start? So how it all started. So I was trained to be an engineer, and I work as an engineer, technician. I started off as a technician and then work as an engineer. And I don't like it. I quit my job. I joined marketing. I joined business development. But 2009 is where I started to move to KL, and I started to attend a lot of seminars. Started from Robert Kiyosaki. So Robert Kiyosaki in 2009, I was like, I read his book in 2006, and suddenly he came to Malaysia, and it was like the feeling like, you know, like your favorite band, you know, like Bon Jovi comes to Malaysia. Something like that. And then that's the feeling that I have during watching Robert Kiyosaki on stage. It's like your favorite band and you are watching him live on stage. But from that moment on, I have this small little voice inside my heart saying that I want to be like him. I wanted to be like him. So I joined, I became seminar junkie from one seminar to another seminar and another seminar. So every time I attended seminar, I always imagine myself a person sitting on stage that impacting thousands and thousands of lives per speech. So that is what I imagine myself. And I read a lot of books. One of the things that I started to do in 2010 is where I think that, okay, I told one of my colleagues by the name of Shazli, so he's my roommate, office mate. So Shazli just graduated, and because of he just graduated, he got a lot of students, friends. And then what he told me that I can gather people. Why don't you speak and I gather people? So that's it. So he gathered 40 people and I speak about this topic called the law of attraction. So I noticed that after I delivered this law of attraction, so I thought that I really did well. I really did well that during the Q&A, people ask questions. And while one of the questions, one of my friends by the name of Sashi, straightway take the mic and then try to answer one of the questions by the participants. So as much as I think that I really did well, I'm satisfied with my speech that time. But when I read the evaluation form that we distributed, one of the evaluation that I get was, I wish Sashi was the speaker. And that really crushed my heart. But somehow, inside my heart, I still think that I want to be a speaker. So whether to answer first question, whether you should start a journey as a professional speaker, you have to ask yourself, what are you passionate about? Because I think this is my passion. Because after I stepped down from the stage, my friend Shazli said, Johan, why don't you just speak and I just arrange, I just gather people. So I think that's a good idea, but I delayed, I doubt myself. So one lesson that I learned is actually you know when you are passionate about something when you can feel it. So the only measurement is actually your heart, whether you feel it, whether you like it or not. If you like it, then you know you are passionate about it, and then just go and do it. So the second question is, how do you get paid to speak? A few months before that law of attraction, I joined this thing called Toastmasters. Toastmasters. How many of you in Toastmasters here? Please raise your hand. Okay, I've been in Toastmasters since 2010, but after that I left Toastmasters in 2013 or 14, and I joined back, and I live back. So now I'm no longer an active member, but I used to be in Toastmasters. But in one of the club meeting, this gentleman by the name of Daniel Tay. So Daniel Tay, for those of you who are old in Toastmasters, because of, he's already passed away, the late Daniel Tay. So he liked to mentor young people, and he likes to give a lot of advice that after every time he speaks, he cannot stop. So that's the problem with Daniel Tay. He cannot stop speaking. So after the meeting, we had a conversation, a very, very long conversation. And one of the questions that he asked me is, Johan, how do you know if you are a good speaker? So being in Toastmasters, I answer with all those Toastmasters standard script. You got no speech crutches. Wrong. Your grammar is good. Wrong. You got a vocal tonality. Wrong. You have a DTM. Wrong. And then, okay, maybe I think I have the my last card. Is it because when you get a good feedback from the evaluator? Also wrong. So his answer was, you know you are a good speaker if you are being paid to speak. And that blew my mind, because of in Toastmasters, nobody talk about paid to speak, because of everybody speak for free. And everybody thinks that they are good because of every time you speak, people give standing ovation. People say, oh, you are very good, very good, very good. But the secret that reveals by Daniel Tay was, if you are good, you are being paid to speak. So the next question is, how do I get paid to speak? So one thing that I learned is, if you want to be paid, you have to be good, and you want to be paid high, you have to be even better. So that's the second lesson. So third question is, what are you going to speak on? Okay, now I really am excited to be a speaker, but what am I going to speak on? So in 2011, so I was given this task of coordinating this program called the Prestige Leadership Program by one of the private university. So I was so passionate because of this is a topic that I really like. And the project was about ringgit. 500,000 ringgit projects. And then I'm so excited because of we have collaboration of local university and international universities. But the feedback from that program wasn't that good. So because I was the coordinator, and the client blamed me for bringing the lousy lecturers to give lectures about leadership, where these lecturers doesn't know anything about leadership. So it crushes my heart because of, number one, I don't learn a lot about leadership during this program that worth 500,000. Number two, the client blaming me. So the question that I ask myself is, can I do better than the lecturer? So deep down inside my heart, say, I think I can do better. But of course, I have doubt. Johan, who are you? You are trained as an engineer. You have no authority to speak about leadership. You are not a CEO of a company. You're not even a general manager. You are not even a manager at that time. But second question comes to my mind. So if I don't have that, what should I do? Okay, maybe I can take PhD like them. All these professors got PhD, right? But PhD would take about 7 years. And by the end of 7 years, probably I'll become like them. So I think PhD is not a good idea. So what are other possible solutions? One of it is actually to get myself certified. So in 2012, I went to get myself certified in Train the Trainer. So this is me, 2012. And finally, I became a certified trainer. But of course, for those of you, how many of you have TTT? How many of you think that you don't learn anything from the TTT? For 5 days TTT. Okay, thank you for being honest. So I think I learned something, but I don't learn a lot. I don't learn a lot from that TTT. Yeah? But in this TTT, one lesson that really I think valuable for me is one of these people asked me, Johan, so now you're a certified trainer, what are you going to speak on? I said with a deep conviction, I said, I want to talk about leadership. And I was, I think I was not yet 30, 2012. I was 29, not yet 30. And then that guy, very senior person, very experienced. So he asked me, why are you going to talk about leadership? You don't have credibility. Who wants to listen you speak about leadership? Because of people, most of the time people wanted to listen to those who have gray hair, experience in the corporate world to talk about leadership. So you better talk about computer because of your degree is in computer engineering. And I see that because of during the presentation, there's a lot of problem with the PowerPoints, and I am the one that, you know, chucho all those projector technical. So Johan, why don't you speak on about computer? Because of you have strength on that, you have advantage on that as compared to people like us. But deep down inside, I think that I don't feel like I wanted to talk about computer because of that's not my passion. So the lesson that I learned is actually don't let other people tell you about what you should speak on. You should figure out what you are passionate about because of you have your story and you have your message. If you don't have your content, it's okay, but you need to know what you are going to speak about because of only you know what you're going to become. And you can get advice, but you have to make your necessary decision. So next question. Okay, now I'm so passionate that I'm going to speak about leadership, but how do I develop my topic? Many years ago, I read this book by Ken Chi called Brand Mastery. And part of this book, I still remember, he says that you can be expert in anything. If you spend 2 hours a day researching about a topic, within 2 to 5 years, you have more knowledge as compared to majority people in the world. So meaning that if you can spend 5 years reading about a topic, you can become an expert. You can have more knowledge as compared to most people. So I started to read books. I started to read Robin Sharma, The Leader Who Had No Title. I started to read John C. Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So as I read, and I started to Google, I came across this one guy by the name of Arthur F. Karmazi. So I immediately went into Google and searched about him, and then just so happened he's going to have a certification in Malaysia. So I was 2012, I was certified in colored brain communication, and Arthur have been mentoring me since 2012 until now. So a lot of things that who I am today is actually because of a guy by the name of Arthur Karmazi. Instead, when I wrote my book, it is based on his content, and it is based on he created a forward for me as well. So the lesson is, once you are clear what you are going to speak on, then the world will somehow came to you. And now me and Arthur, we are very good friends. We are a very good mentor. So the thing is this: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So once you started to wanting to speak on one topic, you choose your niche. So somehow the mentor will come, the teacher will come, and then you just have to choose who's you're going to mentor with, because once you decide what you wanted to become, it is very clear, and it's going the mentor will appear, and then they will provide you with guidance. So that's lesson number 4. Okay, question number 5. How do I build my network in this industry? Because in this industry, it's all about network. To me, I'm a terrible salesman. How many of you here regarded yourself as a terrible salesman? Okay, Maverick. Okay, that is some surprise for me. So, but I tried a lot of things. I tried to sell insurance. I tried MLM. You name me any MLM. I think half of MLM companies I have signed up, but I've never made any money from it. Amway lah, Luxor lah, those days. I joined Unit Trust, and I tried to do all those selling, but I'm a terrible salesman. But I think in this business, what's important is actually you don't need to have that selling skills unless you have that selling skills. People like Wesley, people like Raymond, people like I think some salespeople. Michael Theo. These are all great salespeople. So when you are great, you can pitch, and then you can secure a job. But to me, it's quite difficult because of every time I pitch, I didn't get a job. But the only job that I get is actually through referrals. A lot of jobs that I get is through referrals. I think there's a power of in referrals, which I'm going to cover very soon. But I think network is a must in this industry. So, but how do you build network? So after I joined Arthur Kamazi came to Malaysia, giving this award to Datuk Sri Paduka Lim Kok Wing, the late Lim Kok Wing. And then the person that sat next to me, or next to me, was actually a guy by the name of Jega Deswaran Manoharan. And starting from there, I got to know Jega, and then he passed me his name card, and his name card says that from Akodia training, something. And then Jega Deswaran, President-elect of Malaysian Association of Professional Speakers. Wow, what is that? So I started to get to know what is MAPS, and then I signed up because of invited by Jega. I signed up as MAPS, and just so happened after I joined, some of the people resigned, some of the exco resigned, and Jega asked me whether I'm interested to become an exco. So I said yes. So lesson here, if there is a vacancy, or come to AGM, because if you come to AGM, there is a possibility for you to become exco. If you don't come to AGM, and there's no chance for you to become exco. Okay, come to AGM because of being an exco is actually a very, very good platform where you can build network. I think people like who's the exco here, Rizal, Fatima. Now you guys actually have a very, very good position because of you guys are an excos. I think Fuan have a lot of exposure because of being an exco, and of course Siva. Everywhere Siva goes, everywhere people will know Siva. Oh, Jega is here as well. Jega is here. Okay, Jega is luckily I didn't notice that Jega is here. So luckily I didn't say anything bad about Jega. Hey, where's Jega? Oh yeah, Jega. Okay, Jega was the president, and then Jega immediately brought me in to become the exco, and I think that is the best decision because I say yes. And because of that, I managed to contribute a lot, and I gained a lot of exposure, and I gained a lot of network. And the best part is actually Jega is the first person that gave me training jobs after I joined MAPS within a few months. I don't know what makes he brought me, pay me some good money, but I think that's the power of networking, because of you never know who's you're going to meet while you're going out and network. And because of that, I have the opportunity to become president. And becoming a president gives a lot of exposure. I think this is one of the best gifts that I have being in MAPS as a service as a president, because of there's a lot of exposure. So you never know, lesson 5, you never know who you're going to meet along the way. Just go out and network, connect with people, because of just now before the session, I spoke with Rizal about speaking overseas. I spoke in Brunei 6 times. And how did I get to speak at Brunei? Because I attended a program, and during that during the break, the short tea break, I have a 5 minutes conversation from strangers who I don't know, and then I said that I do trainings on this topic, and I primarily do training in Bahasa. And the next day, someone from Brunei called me and then asking, Johan, can you train in Bahasa? I said yes. And then, can you send your profile? I said, yes. And then there you go. I got a partner, and then I got 6 training jobs in Shell, in IPA, in a lot of other organizations in Brunei. So you just go out and network, because you don't know who's going to meet, but you must make sure you know what you're going to speak on and what is your niche, your career. Okay. Once in a while, you will receive a lot of advice from fellow speakers. So when you join MAPS, especially, you ask people will give you advice, and another person will go give you totally different advice. So which one is the truth? So you're going to ask, which one is the truth? Because if you ask me, I might give you different advice. If you ask Fuan give you different advice. If you ask Fatima give you different advice. If you ask Kuti will give you different advice. 2016, okay, part of being Maps, Exco, I was invited to speak at APSS convention in Singapore in 2016. It is not because of I deserve the stage. It is because of the president couldn't make it. The president-elect could not make it. The vice president of education could not make it. The vice president of membership also could not make it. So I'm the 5th person. And I am the only one who have a lot of free time that I can make it. So I say yes. So I presented maps talking about Malaysian market updates. And after I stepped down, the next person was actually Frederick Heron. So Frederick Heron talks about how do you build a global speaking business. His speech blew me away because he talks about global speaking. He spoke at 65 different countries. And he spoke about 60 to 70 speeches. In a year, he will travel about 25 to 30 different countries all over the globe. And he says that his job is actually to give 1 hour speech, travel to another place, 1 hour speech, travel to another place, and then took 6 months of what he called that back then paternity leave. So he worked for 6 months, and another 6 months, he did nothing but spending time with his kids. And I thought, wow, that is a very good life. And I wanted to be like Frederick. I really wanted to be like Frederick. One day, I just wanted to travel. And then 6 months, leave, do nothing. Spend time with family. But then again, there's another guy by the name of Eric Feng. So Eric Feng is one of the rising star. And at that time, he talked about, this year, we make about 1.2 million Sing dollar, 2016. And he's targeting 2 million Sing dollar in 2016. So 2015 was 1.2 million. So I was like, wow, very, very young. I think he's younger than me. And then he talks about he was being mentored by Ron Kaufman, and Ron Kaufman says that, Eric, if you wanted to build a business, just really go out and then build a team, really build a really working company. So meaning that build a team and then you can grow bigger in your speaking journey. So the question is, I got 2 contradicting advice. Frederick says that you just prepare speech, travel all over the world, 6 month paternity leave, you don't have to work hard. And another guy by the name of Eric Feng says that work really hard, build a team. So the moment you know, like, when you build a team, you will have a sleepless night because you have to manage your team and all. Eric is older than you, okay? Maybe I'm not sure. Okay, maybe. Okay. Which advice should I follow? So as I assessing myself, I'm going to talk about leadership. And I'm going to be a solopreneur. I think that doesn't relate with me. And one of the things that I really reflect, if let's say today I decided to have a team, and next 10 years I decided not to have a team, it's still okay. But today, if I decided I'm not going to have a team, I'm going to have a chill life, and the next 10 years I wanted to start to have a team, I'm going to have a terrible life because of when you are old, you don't want to work hard. So because of I'm still young at the time, 30 plus. So I think that, okay lah, I build a team. The next lesson is actually go out and learn from the best. You go and learn from all the best of the best, but you have to decide which advice that work for yourself, because of not all advice applicable to you at that current moment. Maybe 10 years down the road, I wanted to sell off my business and I wanted to be like Frederick Heron, just be a keynote speaker and then do nothing, 6 months, 10 months paternity leave, who knows? I don't know, but assess yourself first before you take any advice. So whatever lesson that I shared with you may not relevant to you, so don't take it. Okay, next, the question that I think most speakers wanted to ask, how can I charge higher? So I think a lesson from Daniel Tay, once you are good, you can charge higher, but what is the indicator? So somewhere in 2019. So there's one training provider called me for a job. They blast in the WhatsApp group. Who can do? Okay, the topic was managing different personalities. So immediately I say, yes, I can. So I sent all the proposal, I sent all the profiles, and I landed to a job with the management training. And because of I did probably some good work, they said, Johan, can you do 3 more sessions for the managers? I said, yes, okay. Okay, so I thought that, okay, from 1 session now become 3 sessions. So I thought that, wow, that's good, because of, but going through TP, I was being paid about 2,000 a day. So they paid me 2,000 plus, plus. So the first session I got 4,000, I was happy. But the second session, the whole month I was busy, but I earned about 12,000. And I thought like 12,000. I got 2 staff, 12,000. After paying my staff, there's nothing left for me. So I decided that, okay, it's about time for me to stop saying no for working with TPs. So I asked my team, can we survive without working with TPs? Means that we go straight direct and then we charge somewhat premium. So the team says that if we never try, we never know. So why don't we try? So part of it, I think most of you, I think I have a conversation with Rizal as well. How do we actually stop working with TPs? I remember Jega mentioned that if you wanted to charge high, then just don't go with the TPs, because of you. If you go to TPs are the one that doing the selling. Of course, they will take some big cut. So how do you straight away go with the client? Is actually by you going direct. Okay, so once you know that your schedule is full, your calendar is full, so you know that you are in demand. So when you are in demand, so you know you have to say no to some opportunities, because of that opportunity, that no will lead you to bigger opportunity. So now we are 100% not working with any TPs. So when you establish your demand, then you can have the luxury to choose. But if you don't have demand, your calendar is not full, okay, please don't do that, because of, if you don't have demand, means that you don't have traction yet. So please make yourself do some more work first. So how do I be good? So how do I be good? So in 2015, okay, MAPS convention. I remember this is during I think Jega's or Johan's time as a president. I'm not sure. 2015. They said, Johan, go and speak lah for 10 minutes. I said, I was the exco at that time, but okay lah. They asked me to speak, I speak. And then this session is actually speaking for free. So based on that session, I delivered almost similar session the next year, 2016 MAPS convention, because they said, Johan, can you speak? I said, okay lah. They have a lack of speakers at that time. I said, okay. And from that same content, so next year I received a call from, I don't know who, training providers from Kuching, by the name of MRS. They said, can you speak? We are going to pay you 500. So I said, yes. And then I just delivered the same speech. And then I delivered the same speech again and again and again. And this is in Brunei, also a complimentary speech. Then I did speech again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And there are several other more that I do for free again and again and again. And the same speech that I did again and again and again, now I charge for a premium. So this is one of the session that I charge. And it's the same speech, totally same speech, but enhanced version. So when Siva mentioned just now, stage time. So if you have opportunity to speak, because of sometimes you are being paid to speak and you always tend to reject. No, I don't want to speak for free. I don't want to speak for free. So speaking for free will give you 2 things. Number 1, practice. Number 2, exposure. And that's where you build your credibility. So do it again and again and again. Keep the flywheel moving. Because of the great speakers, they did nothing, but they deliver the same speech again and again and again and again and again and again and again until they become very, very good at it. And that is where you start to charge. So how do you close speaking this easily? So again, I am not a good salesman, so I have to use different strategy. How? So always get stage time. Okay, in this session, I was being paid 2,000 ringgit, not the fee that I expected, but because of there are 500 people over there, so I just deliver my speech. And because of I deliver a very good speech at that time, because I did it again and again and again and again and again, I got a lot of side gigs after that. So one of the side gig was from MOF. They are asking me to do 3 days program. So I said, no, I'm not available on the first day. I'm only available on the second and third day. And third day will be half day because they wanted to go back. So about 1.5 days, And I just tried my luck. MOF, government, most of the time, we know that government don't pay high. So I just put a quotation of 18,000. They said, okay. Said the first day, they will cover it, and then we will follow your time. If you are available, whenever you're available, you come. So that's where you know that you are already in demand. So something happened in 2022, whereby I was called by a client, and then they asked me to do a presentation. So while I am like preparing my laptop, plug in the HDMI, immediately the HR director says that, Johan, if we agree to hire you, when can we start? So when is your next available date? I say, no, I haven't presented my proposal yet. And then I asked, how did you find out about me? I already follow you all the way. And okay, this doesn't happen once. A lot of time. There are some organizations that I submit proposal, and then after submitting the proposal, they asked me to issue invoice. I said, why you want me to issue invoice? I haven't presented yet. They said, it's okay. My boss asked me to hire you. And then we charge, whatever we charge, they never negotiate, because of that's when the credibility already happens. So people will ask, when can we start? When are you available? How much is your rate? How much is your fee? So that is where you know that you are already gained traction. So in this business, you don't have to sell. You don't really have to sell if you build enough reputation. So once you develop your reputation, you don't have to sell yourself. So focus on delivering good speech, focus on delivering good sessions, and focus on building good reputation. And then you don't have to even sell yourself, because of they will ask you, when are you free? And then your job is to tell them, I'm free on this date and this date, and this is my price. Sometimes they nego, sometimes they are not. Sometimes they don't have budget, they will say bye-bye to you. Okay, final lesson. Okay, so out of all this thing, the question is, can you really do it? Okay, especially for those of you who just started, can I really do it in this industry, in this business? When I started, I designed vision board. In this vision board, I told myself that I wanted to speak in Singapore, I wanted to speak in Australia, I wanted to speak in Dubai, several places. And one of the places I really wanted to go is actually Dubai. So somewhere in 2015, 2016, I met a friend who actually worked in Dubai. So he went back to Malaysia, he came back to Malaysia for a short holiday, and I asked, is there any chance for me to speak in Dubai? So I said, can you refer me to someone in Dubai who wants to hire me to become a speaker? In fact, I offer, I can speak for free. So he says that, Johan, I'm not saying that you are not good, but in Dubai, they are all, what they care about is blue eyes. If you are good, if you don't have blue eyes, they are not going to hire you. So stop dreaming, something like that, the message, stop dreaming. But somehow in 2023, I was invited to speak at Dubai, and everything is being paid off, all expenses, hotel, 5-star hotel, and everything. So it was like a dream come true, So never stop believing, never stop believing in yourself, because of people just don't know what you are capable of. Your job is, when people say that you cannot do, your job is actually to prove them wrong by saying that, yes, you can. So to me, being a speaker is just like being a rock star. So that is where I designed my rock star framework. So rock star, at the very first start, because this is reflecting on my journey. At the very first stage is where you are a newbie. When you are a newbie, even though you want to speak for free, people don't want you to speak at the stage. So when you are a newbie, your job is actually to build your portfolio, to get stage time. So the next level, if you are already somewhat good, you will go to this stage called commodity. So in commodity is where you can do what others can do as well. If you can do what others can do as well, chances are they are not going to pay you high because of your commodity. So when you are commodity, the market will set your price. So, but if you can do good job, like me in 2019, so that is where I already started to establish How do you know you started to establish? When you did 1 gig, you will get side gigs. So meaning that they will ask you, can you do it again? We want you, and we want you only. So that is not when you know you are established. When you are established, you already gain traction. Keep on building your brand and then build your reputation. So next stage is where you can be a rock star. In a rock star stage, people will call you, people will ask, how much do you charge? And people will wait you when you are free. So this is where you can demand a bit, you can choose who you wanted to work with. So meeting is not about they evaluating you, it is equally about you also evaluating whether you want to work with them or not. And the final part is actually being a legend. So this is where you are there, your household name, people can call you, and people how much you charge, they will pay, and then you can charge hundreds of thousands like Simon Sinek. So my goal is actually, can we produce more Malaysian speakers who are at the legend level? Because I think there's a lot of legend in the US, in the West, but there's not so many legend in Malaysia. So can we do it together? So that is where I think the 3 pillars of a rockstar, number 1 is actually mastery. Do it again and again and again and again and again and again. Stage time until you really master your craft. Second is for you to publish your work. And number 3 is to build your followings, because of when you have followings, you don't have to market yourself. Because of how do I get all these jobs is because of someone else market for me. So someone else can market for you as well. But you have to master your craft and you have to publish your work. Then people will market for you. You don't have to sell, and you can build a sustainable speaking business. So my final slide. This is from Ed Sheeran in 2011. So he wrote in Twitter, give me a few years, I've got some big plans. And a few years after that, he became a rock star. So I believe that you too can become a rock star. With that, thank you very much.
Wow. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please, everybody, please unmute your mic and give a big round of applause to our rockstar Johan Irwan Kamarazaman. Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Again, not a single minute was wasted. I was so engulfed and really listening in. Well done, Johan. Really powerful presentation. Lots of learning points, lots of stories. And I think a lot of people really listening attentively to the whole thing. Now, of course, we are towards the end of the session, but we are going to allow for the participants to ask questions. So how can you ask questions? You can type the questions away in the chat room, or you can even just raise your hand, unmute, and then just lay down the questions to our speaker of the day, Mr. Johan Irwan Kamarazaman. All right, so guys, your opportunity to ask. As I said, my Nasi Ayam Kampung session, I was able to ask anything and it changed my life. And now is your opportunity to pick the brains of the amazing Johan Irwan Kamarazaman, because he's not stingy with information. Let's go. Anyone with any questions? Anyone with any questions here? Right. So keep on sharing what you guys feel about the session as well. So we got Usha saying, enjoy the session, Johan. Mahendran saying, amazing sharing. Thank you, Johan. Great insight sharing by PT Rajan. And Fatima said, fantastic sharing personal stories. And Kuti also said, loved it. So do we have any questions from the floor to Johan? And Captain Ariba, woohoo, he's here. I didn't realize you were here, Captain Ariba. Ariba, Andre. Okay, any questions for Johan?
Yeah, I have a quick question, Rizal.
Okay, let's go for it.
Yeah. Hi, Johan. Great presentation.
Hi, Tiro.
Hi. Just a quick question. At that time, topic like leadership, which is so broad, how did you manage to, find your niche in that area of leadership? Was it your colored brain that helped out, or other ways that you found your brand in leadership?
I think colored brain helps me out. In my context, is colored brain. But in Malaysia, we have about 100 over people that certified colored brain. So I think the common denominator is not so much about whether it is colored brain or not. It is about you have to really clarify who you're going to serve, and you have to clarify which area, which market that you wanted to play, and also your message relevant to who. I am fortunate because of I have some corporate experience. I work in an organization and I became a manager before, and I was a struggling manager. So I think that's the message that I can share. And number two is when I quit my job, I think that I wanted to train MNC. I wanted to speak to MNC. Because of MNC, you have opportunity for you to go global. But after, somewhere in 2017, someone told me that, Johan, why are you writing your Facebook in English? Because of all your friends and followers are Malay people. So if you write in Malay, people will relate to you more. And 2017 is where I started, or 2016 or 17, is where I started to write in Malay. And I see that a lot of traction in social media. When I write in Malay, people share, people relate. And I think that if I can relate to audience in Malay, why don't I relate to organization who are Malay-based organization? So I find my sweet spot in Malay-based organization, and that is where I built my my sweet spot. So it's all about understand where you wanted to play, where you have advantage. Because of in Malay based organization, Mat Saleh cannot enter because of they can't speak Malay. And I'm Malay. Somehow I can relate with their thinking, their culture, and then their attitude and so on. So identifying where you wanted to play, where you have the biggest advantage. But the real thing that really actually took off my speaking career is when I published my book in 2019. So that's why I think the whole thing changes. So that's why I'm an advocate for you to publish your book. But advice of publishing book is sometimes can be very, very dangerous. Why? Not really dangerous. Why I'm saying dangerous is because of, if you think that publish a book, okay, yeah, I just publish any kind of book. So someone actually gave me a book that the book was so lousy, and then he got no speaking gigs after that. So books have to be like your masterpiece, or your come up with a good book, because of you can going to get, because if people like your book, then only they're going to hire you to speak. So make sure that your book is actually worth to read, and give your people brand new perspective, rather than content that they can search from ChatGPT or from the internet. So I think that's probably to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you, Thiru. I mean, good question, and thanks, Johan, for the answer. So I got a question from Mr. Maverick. Hey, Maverick, why don't you just unmute and then just ask that question? So go ahead, ask away to our Johan. So I put on Top Gun because it's Maverick, so a bit corny, but let's go. Maverick, you there? No, we can't hear you, Mav.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, let's
Okay,
go.
right. Okay, hey, so I'm always fascinated with frameworks. So I noticed even top speakers around the world always have frameworks, right? So I'm just curious, like when you showed your 5 ladders just now, how long did it take you to kind of conceptualize it? I know it's still a work in progress, but I think it's already amazing clarity that you have so far. So how long did it take you to come up with that framework?
Oh, wow. Very good question. It started off in 2018. Actually, when you talk about framework, I think there's no framework that is original, because of all framework is actually based on top of someone else's framework. So in 2018, I went to 2018 or 2019, 2018 or 19. I went to APSS. A guy by the name of Steve Lowell, he created this thing called Repumeter. So he talks about reputation. It's if you have reputation, then it's like a speedometer. And when he presented that, the moment he presented that, and then I straight away can point myself where I am in that meter. So I think this is a very good way for you to gauge, especially give clarity of where people are, and then people can immediately see gaps. And I look at some other books. So for example, like Entrepreneur You by Dory Clark. So he talks about Clark's law of speaking. So he talks about more or less some kind of ladder. And I attended one session by one Indian speaker. He talks about the 5 levels of entrepreneur. So there's a 5 levels of entrepreneur, and from that explanation, actually you can see clearly where. So if you ask me how long does it take, I think since 2018. So it keep on a period of refinement, and until very recent, I think that I can come up with something that really, you can, because a lot of people came, like Rizal. Rizal came to see me, and there's a lot of others that came and see me, and then asked me, how do I make it in this business? So I just wanting to make it like clear for them. So this is the path. So I immediately draw 5 ladders, and then this is how you go about. And then one day I wanted to be a legend, so something like that. So took about 5 years. Sorry, 2018. Yeah, 2018.
About 5 years.
About 5 years. Yeah, 5 years.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alright. Cool. Thank you so much. Great question just now. So we got 2 people who are asking questions. So I'm going to just get 2 people to ask. I saw Kuti putting her hands up, and after that we got Chiong, and we also got Rajan as well. So let's go for it. Kuti, your question.
Thank you. Hi, Johan. Thanks for your talk.
Hi, Kuti.
I just wanted to refer to your lesson number 5 about networking. This is an area that I find very uncomfortable to do. So what kind of advice can you give to someone like me who struggles with the act of networking, actually?
Wow. I wasn't born a natural networker as well, and even in fact until today, I don't know how to start a conversation. But I know my weaknesses is I don't know how to start the conversation. But my also weaknesses, when I speak, I don't stop lah. So whoever have coffee with me whenever I speak, it's very difficult for me to stop. I joined Amway under Network 21 many years ago. So it talks about a lot about network, and I pick up a lot of CDs. Those days they ask you to listen to CDs every day and then read books. So from there I pick up a lot of tips about networking, because of when you do MLM, they ask you to, because of once your list, your pakcik, makcik, your uncle and all, you already call, your friends already hate you for calling them and present. So you need to find strangers. So that is where I started to hunt for people. And because I'm terrible networker, you hunt for people and then you call, and then people got rejection, and then I quit. And from there, I started to refine my networking skills. Another thing is I joined BNI. BNI teach you how to really network. One of the things I remember is actually be interested, not interesting. Be interested means that when you speak to people, always listen to them first, and then so that is an advantage for people who don't know how to start a conversation, right? So ask just broad question. So where do you come from? What do you where do you work? How long you have been in this company? So that kind of general words, and then listen to where the conversation goes, and then just ask more questions. I think that's how I do it lah. I think a lot of people say that I'm a good listener, so that's why they are okay to have a very long conversation with me.
Good hints and tips. I hope that Kuti
hope they answer the questions.
Yep.
Kuti.
Yes,
So
thank you.
we've got Chiong. His hand has been up for the longest time. I hope your hand's okay, man. It's okay. Let's go. Chiong, let's ask away.
Yeah, thank you, Johan, for your inspiring story. I would love to know that perhaps at the beginning of your stage, like when people say that you can't like make it to Dubai, and then you make it subsequently, just want to know at the beginning of your journey as a speaker, like what are those beliefs that you hold on that probably given us myself some idea on what are those beliefs that you hold on that enable you to make it at where you are right now?
Wow, very interesting questions. The belief that I have, I always believe that I am not good enough. So I think that's the belief that I always have, even until today. So, but I think that is a blessing as well, because of if there are 2 types of speakers that I met. Number one, if they have extra confidence, so their competency is here, their confidence is here, so they can pitch, and then they get a job, but then they can't deliver as per the confidence that they portray. So the advantage of that is actually easy for you to land in a job. Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect especially. But the disadvantage of that is very difficult for you to get subsequent job. So when you are like me, imposter syndrome, I think I'm not good enough. So I will make sure that I read every books that I can. I attended every seminar that I can so that I am at least good. So when I pitch, I think I'm terrible pitch. So whoever went and pitch with me, I'm terrible at that. But when I get some jobs, it's easy for me to get subsequent job because of I just make sure that I deliver more than what I think that I can deliver. So look at your strength and weaknesses as a blessing, because of I am aware of my strength and I am aware of my weaknesses. So because of that, I never call people. I never cold call people. I always ask my team to cold call. I never cold call. But what I think my strength is actually to put myself out there. So because of that, when you're terrible at that, you can script your words. So for example, like in sales, you say always be closing. So when you write a posting, you always be closing means that you put words like, please like if you like it, please follow me. So I never do that because of I'm terrible at that. So when you don't do that, people who follow you become genuine. When they genuinely like you, they will follow you. So you begin to attract people rather than get people to do what you ask them to do. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Johan.
Brilliant.
If I may ask for
Yeah.
another question, just what will be the 3 things for new beginner like speaker that join the industry to focus on? I know you shared about the 10 question. What do you think would be your advice will be probably the 3 things that we focus on at the beginning of our journey in that?
I think the advice is same like any speakers. It's about stage time.
Okay.
I recently read a very good book, Referable Speaker.
A lot of books.
This book you have to buy at Amazon because it doesn't available here. So 2021, when I was the president, I got a free ticket to NSA. So I attended on virtual. But this book was written by Michael Pott and also Andrew Davis. So he talks about referable speaker. Based on his study about professional speakers, he says they says that actually a lot of speakers get another job because of someone refer them to. So how do you get people to refer you is actually by doing a very good job. So when you get stage time and you deliver a good job, you will get side gig. So that side gig will determine whether you're going to get a subsequent job. So if you deliver a speech and nobody calls you again to speak, means that your speech is not good yet. So focus on making your speech better. So the speech that I did leading in the 21st century, I did with my BNI chapter. And when I did with my BNI chapter, so happened that the executive director, I don't know what we call it, came to the venue and then says, who's that? Oh, I said, Johan. Oh, can he deliver that same topic in our national convention? So I delivered that same speech at national convention. And from that national convention, that subsequent speech. So initially I was being paid with a pen, a Ferrari pen, which cost about, I don't know, shuffle Ferrari pen. But now I can charge the same speech, 5,000, 6,000 ringgit for 45-minute, 1-hour session, which the point here is actually mastery, be very good. Number 2 is actually, actually the 3 advice is actually mastery, be very good. Number 2 is actually publish your work. Once you know that you are good, make it available to out there. A lot of people try to hide things. Don't steal my modules, don't steal my content, don't steal. But a lot of great speakers, they give their content freely. They upload in the YouTube. If you want to watch my leading in the 21st century, you can Google Johan Irwan leading in 21st century. You can watch my presentation that I did with BNI. Same speech, I deliver again and again and again. It's for free. And when people ask, I charge. So I don't charge for the knowledge, I charge for the service. Okay, point number 3 is actually you have to build your followings. Really, you have to build your followings. Why? Because of this following is the one that is going to market you. So you don't have to work hard. So that's about it.
Nice.
Thank you, Johan. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. I think I'm going to take on the last question of the day. So we got PT Rajan. Rajan, I think you put up your hand earlier.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Rizal. Again, Johan, it was a great sharing from you. Right, I hope you can hear me, Johan.
Yeah,
it was
can
great
hear you.
sharing. In fact, a lot of consistency and persistence reaps result. You are an exemplary in that sense. Basically, what I want to ask is about creating a niche topic, right? So every one of us looking at based on our experience, whatever we have gone through, right? In regards to niche topic, is it first of all, do you need to focus on one topic? Is there something like you can generalize a bit? So what's your thought about that? Having a niche topic that sells and gives you business, whatever it is, something like that.
Okay, this is the thing that,
Your
that
thoughts
I
on it?
shared in my Rockstar speaker model. So instead of speaking about 1,000 topics, you focus on a few topics. So today, if people ask me what program do you have, I will always give only three. Only three. One is my signature program, Colored Brain. Number 2 is my development program, which is MDP, Managers Development Program, which consists of 12 modules. Number 3 is our team building program. That's it. I don't do anything else. So if I were to give advice, again, this is my advice. You don't have to take it, but if it makes sense, then probably you wanted to pursue it. Only focus on a few things, maybe three or 5, or maybe in my case, I have development series, which I have 12 modules, which I can plug and play here and there. But I only do that. And how do you create really niche is by you don't come out with something like really generic. So if you talk about effective communication skills, that is generic. Because of people, and people want to hire effective communication skills, there are thousands of people that do effective communication skills. So you wanted to do something that unique, and people can remember you. And how do you do that? Is actually by creating your own. This is my personal opinion. Like what Maverick says, that you have to create your own framework. And how do you create your own framework is by actually you reflecting on your journey. So how do I created the 5 level? It's actually just purely my experience. So my experience, and I validated it with some other things. I look at some other books that can just does this framework make sense? And then tada, you come up with your own thing. And when you create your own thing, people cannot steal it from you. So you don't have to worry about people curi your stuff and all, because of that, owned by you. Of course, you wanted to IP it and all. You have to ask. I think Birunda will be more expert on that. But in my case, the Rockstar speaker that I presented in MAPS convention last year is something that available on the internet. Anybody can take it. But because of that, it's my personal story. This presentation is my personal story. You can take the slide, but you cannot deliver it as how I did it. So be original. I think that's one of the key message. And then you can have a very good niche.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow, I hope that answered your question, PT Rajan. Brilliant. And that brings us to the final, and we already at 9:12. So thank you so much, everyone, for staying back up until 10 extra minutes. And again, guys, we want to be able to wish and say thank you to Mr. Johan Irwan Kamaruzzaman for delivering an amazing 1 hour worthwhile. I really loved it, and I think everybody else also enjoyed it. So let's give one more big round of applause to Johan, everyone. Let's go. Yes. Okay. As I said at the start of the segment just now, so for the guys who missed Coldplay in Malaysia, you don't have to go to Singapore because we already had our Rockstar perform today. So that is all for us today from Malaysian Association of Professional Speakers, MAPS. We are very happy to have you here. We've got a whole lot of stuff coming up soon in August and also in September. We do have MAPS Together, and we also have MAPS Spotlight coming up. So watch the space in the chat room. We'll be putting it there, and also on our social media as well. So that is all for today. And thank you so much, everyone. Wishing you guys all a good night, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you.
Johan,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Johan.
Rizal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Johan. Good night, brother.
Thank you.
Did we take a photo?
Oh yeah, we didn't take a photo.
But we did.
Yeah, everyone come back.
It's okay. But there was some photos that people share. Like, okay, got number 22 there. but good stuff, Johan. That was really that was new content from you. So you rearranged it, and I was really listening in. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Thank you. Definitely rockstar.
Well done, Johan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this poster here, tengok, and the poster with on fire, okay? And there's no guitar playing tonight for the first time ever.
Oh, for first time. No.
Ah, I know, right? This is always at the ending has to have a guitar. But wow, man, coming up with really good points as well, man. Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
learn
my
from the
God.
rock star himself, right? Legend,
yeah.
living legend, living legend.